There's nothing quite like hunting for merch, media, and video games in Japan. Scouring through shelves at Mandarake, nerding out at Kotobukiya, breaking for a few rounds of Virtua Fighter or Street Fighter 4, and getting torn apart in a nearby game centre before finishing up and grabbing some retro games at LD's is pretty awesome. But what if you can't get over to the land of the rising sun, or no longer have a mate you can harass to buy stuff from Yahoo Auctions Japan? Your next best bet is to use a third party to do the hard work for you. This is Sean from Anime Inferno. Today we're going to have a look at solutions to this problem. Yahoo Auctions Japan plug Bai. I've only used them once in the past and found the process smooth but expensive. A good friend recommended I check out Goody Japan while I was going through another retro buy-up, so today we're going to go and look at my experience dealing with them and what I picked up. Goody Japan are pretty forgiving for your shopping needs. Yahoo Auctions Japan are covered, but they seem pretty open to grabbing gear from elsewhere. This includes stores that have an automated online shopping cart like Amazon Japan, as well as more niche stores like Mac Japan and G-Front, who utilise online expression of interest forms and then follow up with a quote in order to proceed. The process is pretty straightforward. You create an account with Goody Japan, you preload your account with cash from a PayPal account, and once you've got some money in there, you submit requests for what you're after. For Yahoo Japan, you log in the auction URL, the seller, how much you're prepared to pay, and for other stores you pop in the URLs for what you're after, what the cost is going to be, and then the system will prompt you to preload the money into your account to make sure that they can pay for it. The good news is that you can request to have your leftover credit sent to your PayPal account if you end up overloading your accounts without spending the balance in your auctions. If any of the stores don't have what you're after, and you've also prepaid that balance in your Goody Japan account, again, the leftover credit apparently can be popped back into your PayPal account once all is done and dusted. When you're ready to consolidate and ship everything back home, you submit a request to have the team stuff everything into some boxes and fire it back to your delivery address. There are a couple of options for sending it back, like EMS, but I'm a bit of a tight ass, so I opted for surface mail, and that took 2 months. For the most part, it was pretty seamless. Unlike Bai, the bidding process on Yahoo Auctions is manually instigated at Goody Japan's end, so I had to make sure that my bids were in early to see how things panned out. All the stores I asked to check out, well, they did a really good job with those as well too. There was a little bit of bill shock right at the end of the process because I got a bit carried away, and the commissions and final shipping costs for the 25 kilo boxes were bigger than what I was expecting, but the rates on the whole were pretty reasonable and very favourable compared to Bai. What was really impressive was the packaging. I had a variety of gear in my order and everything was packaged beautifully, with the team going as far as to put in cardboard box dividers and extra packaging materials so nothing got damaged. I had PCBs, LDs, LPs, some books, Super Family carts, retro gaming accessories, but everything arrived beautifully. From my perspective, I was really happy with the outcome, and I'm definitely going to be looking at using them again in the future. Now, let's have a look at some pickups. First up, we have a lovely Princess Crown figure of Gradriel, the main character in this amazing Saturn game. The team who actually made it would also go on later to create Odin's Sphere, Dragon's Crown. I haven't popped this one out of the box yet, but it was issued in 2003 and it's in excellent shape. Next we have some retro gaming accessories. First up is a box Saturn mouse, which I bought because it was cheap and I wanted to use it for Sakura Tyson, and a loose Super Family multi-tap, which I'm looking forward to using on Super Bomberman and Secret of Mana. We also have a lovely box set of twin sticks for the Saturn. I've been after a set of these for years after falling in love with the game in the arcade and also the Saturn port. Despite CRI's pretty average job with visuals, it also plays beautifully, so I'm keen to check this out. I also grabbed some arcade gear in this run as well too. First up, we've got a Tekken 3 PCB, which instantly is also wired for JVS, which I wasn't expecting. I don't have a kick harness for Namco System 11 or 12 PCBs, so I'm going to do some non-destructive soldering, pull the kick buttons and put it back into the jammer for harness for my cab. And I'll also run the stereo line audio instead of the amplified mono since I've got a little stereo amp built in my Astro. To celebrate my recent acquisition of an Atomic Wave PCB, I snapped up King of Fighters Neo Wave and also the Rumblefish. While I was there, I also impulse purchased Winter Heat for my STV, grabbed a very rubbish looking King of Fighters 2002 for my NVS, and I also added a copy of Capcom vs SNK for my Naomi. Going into the console games, just a handful of odds and ends in here, nothing too rare, but they're all pretty cheap. The Tenlokai Bank is something I'm looking forward to using with my Duo R to stop losing save data, and I decided to grab some Rama games, starting here with the PC Engine CD title. For the Super Nintendo, I snapped up 2 more Rama titles and picked up Mario World and All Stars pretty cheap, since I only have PAL copies of the games and I thought it'd be nice to have an NTSC version, even though you can only push the PAL versions to 60Hz at least for All Stars without much issue. For the anime fans, we're now getting to Laserdisc territory. So first up, we've got a trio of odds and ends. We've got Kiki's Delivery Service, which is my favourite Ghibli flick, as well as one of the Rama OVAs and also one of the Tenchi Muyo OVAs. For AIC fans, we next have Phantom Quest Corp, which runs over 4 volumes. I think this one was a bit of a niche title, but I really got onto it. I thought it was really, really cool back in the day. And we also have Moldiver, which ran over 6 volumes for its OVAs. I found I really got into a lot of the AIC productions in the 90s, and it's been years since I've sat down and watched them. Well, I've got them on DVD. I think I'll drop in the LDs for the next time I sit down to watch. Next up, we have Junichi Sato's superb Mahotsukai Tai, or Magic Users Club. This one's another 6-volume release and a really big favourite of mine. I originally stumbled across it back in 99 or 2000 from the team at Masu Masu, before snapping them along with a TV series a few years later on DVD from the US. Next, we have the original OVA releases for You're Under Arrest. While this would prove something of a bit of a flop for Madman commercially when released as part of its opening stable, alongside things like Riding Bean and Bubblegum Crisis, in our household and between my brothers, it became a really fantastic series and we kind of compared a lot of things to it. As a not-so-closet shoujo fanboy, I also had the chance to snap up a cheap box set of Cardcaptor Sakura LDs, and it was just too good an opportunity to miss. Worth noting is the stunning cover art and insert art by Clamp. Both the artwork and the printing quality are just absolutely stunning. It's a really, really good feature of LDs, is that space, it's just everything looks fantastic. On to the final stretch, we have something a little different. We've got some LPs. First up is The Plastics with their debut album, Welcome Plastics. It features an awesome track called Top Secret Man, which I fell in love with as a fan of New Wave a number of years back when I finally came across them. They're a bit quirky, but I think they're awesome to listen to. Finally, we have a pretty solid selection of LPs from Yellow Magic Orchestra, or YMO for short. I'll admit I'm more familiar with their early material, so it was their first few LPs I was after, but since a few bundles came up for some pretty good prices, I thought, let's go for it. YMO were a huge influence on Japanese game composers in the 80s and 90s, and it's going to be really awesome to spin the same vinyl they would have listened to and inspired some of the best gaming soundtracks of the 8 and 16-bit eras. And this brings us to the end of this video. Please like and subscribe, check us out on Facebook and Twitter, leave some comments below, and be sure to visit animeinferno.com.au regularly to read the latest from our fantastic team.